sorry. So I've got a finished version of what I'm gonna make right here. And this one's kind of wonky because it's really just for me to demo the techniques. What we have is a combo of all three of our techniques. So we've got a rivet pin holding this piece of brass on top of my copper. You can see how I can move it this way. I went tighter with it on this one and I accidentally put it on crooked, and that I can't move. So I'll show you how to do that, but it's kind of nice with rivets that if you keep it loose, you have the ability to shift around your jewelry, which I think is pretty cool. And then we also have tabs happening with the wire frame that I built out for this. And what my ultimate plan is if I get these cleaned up and like them enough, I was just gonna attach a dangly hoop right here, or a dangly earring piece right here, and then this would be like a hoop on the side. So I'm trying to create contrast by using different metals. I textured my copper here. I just made these real quick, so like the edge is still messy. I didn't file or sand or polish. You will do all of those things before you actually connect them, because you can imagine if I was trying to sand the piece underneath, I would be bumping my top piece constantly. So your connecting point will actually be the last part of the project for you. So I want to show you how to rivet. So let me I've got a whole bundle of scraps here. So these are my two parts. And when you all are riveting, there are these boxes that all the stuff is in, and it's in the red toolbox up front in the drawer that says rivet wire. So this box has the whole kit of everything you need. This is your rivet tool, and then there is a baggie full of rivet wire. So when you're doing this, if you want, it comes with these instructions, and it's really pretty easy. You're more than welcome to read the instructions, but I'll just run you through it right now. When you're picking out your rivet, there's different colors. So there's copper and nickel and brass, and then there's also different lengths. So you might be able to see some of these on the camera. Some of these are shorter, some of these are longer. If you are working with one piece of metal, you could get away with just riveting it with one short little rivet. If you have two pieces of metal coming together, there's the medium size, and that's going to be deep enough to pin two pieces of metal together, whereas the really longer one is going to be for three pieces of metal. So you can stack these up however much you want, but I'm going to show you how it works, and then that might make a bit more sense. So what I'm doing ultimately is I'm poking a hole first, and then this rivet is the exact same size as the hole that I'm poking through my piece. And then because it's already pre-flattened on one side, that's going to catch, and then all I need to do is flatten out the other side. So on here, I'm going to start by poking a hole through the top of mine, and I'm going to make a mark with my Sharpie. If this were something where I was like truly doing it for a final project, I would want to measure the middle of this and be more precise, but I'm going to go a little quick. And then on this tool, you can see how on one side there's like the skinnier extension. That's going to punch a hole through your piece. The other side is what flattens your rivet. So I'm going to get my hole punched up by lining my guy up in here. And Izzy and Grant used this on the last project, so if you guys are running into an issue and I'm for some reason unable to help, those two peeps have already done it as well. And then I twist this through and it punches a hole through my metal. So when I make this hole, let me unscrew this so I can get it out. Now I've got a hole through my brass piece there. So I'm going to lay this on top of the copper piece how I want them to be attached. And I'm going to use that opening as kind of a stencil, and then drill or make a mark where I want to poke through. I keep saying drill out of habit. So I'm going to line this up here on the Sharpie mark that I made in that twisty extension, the like pokey part, for lack of a better word. Needs to be right on my Sharpie mark, and then as I twist it through, it'll punch it. Pop the hole through. What? Why does it just punch it that easily? It's made of steel. It's really strong. Now I will tell you, there are a couple of these that are broken. So I'll show you guys how to watch out. I have a feeling that they're gonna break down pretty quickly as we use them, because it was a tool that's new this year and I was like, oh, this is too good to be true. And I think it actually might be. But I've got a backup if you guys need. So I've got the holes through both of them. My pre-made rivet I know is really tough to see because it's so little, but I've got the middle size and it's flattened out on one side already. So I'm gonna put that flattened side, so it's gonna be on the front. So I'm pushing this through. This is what I was telling you about, like the tiniest demo in the world. Bless you. Your sneeze made a cameo. Okay, so now I've got that through here. I have copper. I could match this and do brass if I wanted it to blend in more. And then what I'm gonna do is put my back piece on. So now I've got, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got this little flat edge or this straight edge that's coming out that I need to smush down. So when I go to smush it down, that's when I'll use the other side. Actually, I think this shows better. The other side of this. And there's like a little scoop bowl on the bottom. So I'm going to put the flattened part of my rivet face down on that scoop bowl and try to hold it all in place. So I have my rivet pinned between this flattener and the bottom. And what I'm going to do is twist it to tighten, but I want to make sure everything's in line. And then because I flattened that out on the back, it's pinning my two pieces of metal together. I stopped it a little early, so I have the ability for this to shift if I want, or I could just tighten it more so it holds for good in place. So riveting is pretty much that. The only thing I wanted to show you is there are some that are broken. So we have, I think we started the year with one broken one, and we have 3 now. So that's why I'm thinking it's possible that the extender part that actually pokes the hole, like if you look on this one, you can see it on the right, how it's thin. This one, it's missing. It won't do anything. So if that happens, we have, because your rivet needs to be the exact width of the hole that you drill so it doesn't like wobble around and fall over when you're trying to flatten it. So if we have those break down, or if you just don't want to wait to use it, we have brass drill bits that are the exact same size. And the nice thing is there are only brass drill bits. So if you see brass drill bits in our drill bit cup, you could use the drill to make your hole for this, and then you could fit a rivet in that perfectly. And I can help you with that if you forget, but it's the brass drill bits are the exact same size hole as what this puncher is gonna make if they end up breaking more. So did that make sense for everyone for riveting? It's basically like I have a nail head here, I push it through, and then I flatten it on the other side so it pins them together. And then when I'm riveting, like in mine, I have mine just directly overlapping. This could be, as long as it's overlapping a little bit, it could be hanging off, it could be a tab that you fold over that you rivet together. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. And then there are some rivets that are already in the boxes in these little bags. And then there are more bags of this just in the drawer. So you guys can look in the rivet drawer to find those.